It's Wednesday, September 21st. It is the 2000th year, the 11th year of that 2000, and the camera's all out of whack. It's day and night daily number 348, and I might not make it. I might not. It's 7 p.m., and then I woke up at 5:45 because I decided that I wanted to go swimming. Which basically meant that I went drowning for about 30 minutes, and then I got out, and I was kind of sputtering, and I'm not, let's just say I'm not hairy. You can see that, like, if I hold my arm like this, it's almost like a tree line where the coniferous trees stop, growing because it's just too far up, like it just gets worse as oh my god, okay, So I have to, like, take my clothes off and put on swim trunks and try to get into a pool and do swimming, which I've never done before. I got, people are asking what happened with the swimming goggles. I had to just buy new goggles because the other ones hurt my nose too much. So I couldn't wear those. So I went into the pool. Like, and I'm proud of myself because I woke up at 5:45 to go to the pool at my, the school I just graduated from. And I knew nothing. I don't know how to swim. I don't know about form. I don't know about breathing. I know how to be buoyant. I know that if I inhale water and stop moving, I will float up to the top. That is what I know about swimming. And I just basically pestered the lifeguard. I was like, what am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong? Tell me what I'm doing wrong. Tell me what I'm doing wrong. And he's like, well, everything. You look embarrassing. You need to shave your whole body. You aren't breathing. And whenever you do, you sound a little bit like you're crying. You're drinking water. And you are not kicking your feet ever. And I'm like, what? I have a hurt foot! I notice how that doesn't address points 1 to 4. So, I went swimming and I'm just so tired. I am so unbelievably tired. I cannot express it, but I'm going to try to stay up. Because for some reason, I'm getting up at 4:45 tomorrow and I'm going swimming again. That's what I'm doing. So let me explain to you what's happening right now, because today was supposed to be Newbie Wednesday. Originally, I was going to do Newbie Tuesday yesterday, but then Diablo 3 beta was given into my little paws, and I said, well, I'm going to go play Diablo 3. So I did. And then the patch hit. So what this means is that everyone's replay pack is now completely outdated. So what I've opted to do is extend it for 1 more week and just do Newbie Tuesday on this topic next week. And today we're going to focus on Dongre Gu versus Thorzain, a game that Thorzain played, I think, quite brilliantly. So I wanted to give a little bit of a longer description of the Newbie Tuesday so that way people can give it over the weekend, because I'm really, really excited to see this, to see people's attempts at this. So the Newbie Tuesday idea is as follows. A lot of people have asked me, when do I attack? How do I attack? I don't know when to attack. A lot of people know how to build up a giant death ball and then just move out with the death ball at an arbitrary point in time. And because people have been asking me this so much, how do you attack, how do you attack, how do you attack, it's kind of a hard thing to quantify. And honestly, a technique that you can use, especially if you are a less experienced player, is that if you just decide a time to attack, you will be damn surprised how often it works. I mean, literally. I want, just as an exercise, if you don't want to participate in the Newbie Tuesday, the next ladder game you get in, think of the time that you normally attack and do it at 60% of that time. So if you normally attack, or I guess, let me just say a third or 2/3 of that time. I don't know if it's 60%, if you do like a giant complicated math problem in the middle of your game. If you normally attack at, I don't know, 15 minutes, try to attack at like 10 minutes. Just try to attack like a lot earlier than you ordinarily would. If you want to attack it, I don't know, 20 minutes, try giving an attack at like 13 minutes. You'll be blown away at how often it ends up working out right. And that's honestly quite revealing, is when you just decide, I don't know, I'm just going to attack. I have no reason to attack, but I'm just going to. And what you'll end up discovering when you do these sorts of arbitrary attack timings is that there are non-intuitive windows. There are intuitive windows, right when my immortal finishes, I attack. Right when my stim finishes, I attack. It's intuitive. I just got a desirable thing. Allow me to thing with it. But there's non-intuitive timings like, yeah, if you have 3 stalkers, that's not enough. But if you get 5, that's really good. That's non-intuitive. 5 stalkers versus 3, it feels like more stalkers, but it doesn't feel like the magical amount of stalkers. So this whole discussion, this whole motivation brought me to the topic of today's, or excuse me, of next week's Newbie Tuesday, which is the following. It is, I want you to submit, oh yeah, Marky, if you could just send me the winner video as well. Thank you, Marky. If you could just paste that in, that would be awesome. If you could, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, the next week's Newbie Tuesday is as follows. I want you to force yourself to do a timing attack somewhere between 10 and 12 minutes. I don't care if it's a really fast Zealot Sentry push at 10 minutes. I don't care if it's kind of a delayed Marine tank push at 12 minutes. I want it to be between 10 and 12 minutes. And I want you to do it like 10, 20 times in a row. And you're going to be adjusting your play, you know, obviously to try to make it better. But I want you to note that if you are adjusting your play, you still have this fixed thing in time, this timing attack that will always occur. So suddenly it's not like you're adjusting the ball of your play. It's like you have this bubble of before the attack that you can adjust, and then this bubble of after the attack that you can adjust. And if you could just document a little bit about the changes that are there, I'll be choosing one player going through all of his games, and then we'll get the chance to examine them next week. Boom. I feel like there's one more thing to announce, but I'm just going to say screw it. I will be streaming Diablo 3 after this. And I wanted to give an extra special shout out to the winner of the Day 9 Laugh Montage Contest. Let me just unmute it. That's right, the admin, Markio, who pretty much makes all the cool stuff of this daily possible, like all the cool stuff in the chat and like the question grabbing and the voting and all this stuff. He organized a Day 9 Laugh Montage and just has me laughing. And the winner of the Laugh Montage competition gets, I believe it's a free MLG HQ pass. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. Let's begin. I'm going to go ahead and drop the volume on it so that way I'm not too loud over myself. No! That was funny. I like that one, Horg. I thought that one was pretty good. Oh my god! Not fucking funny! Oh my god, that was so stupid. That's so funny. I do indeed enjoy laughing. So of course, to iMeek Video, congratulations. You've won a free HQ pass. I don't know if that's weird. That I think my own laugh is fucking awesome. So whenever I laugh, I'm like, I'm laughing. I laugh a lot more. So I want to, now that we've got that congratulations out of the way, and it turns out that I enjoy laughing quite a bit, and I'd like to thank Marky for putting that together. Oh my god, I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it to even like 9 p.m. I'm so tired. I'm delightfully tired. I'm noodly tired. It's good kind of tired to be. Let's pop back into the game and see what Thorzain has in store for us. We have Dong Regu up at the top left corner of Taldarim Altar, and we have Mao Sports Thorzain spawning in the right position. And Taldarim Altar has a number of properties that I think are the big, obvious, noteworthy ones. And of course, we want to turn the sound on. Of course, we note that this is very wide open. That's the first thing. We note that this is very wide open, right? This is still the first thing. It's easy to squeeze in Hellions. It's hard to cover this space with a lot of your usual ramp-like wall-offs. The other big formation on this map is this gas geyser right here. And just in general, this natural expansion is very easy to besiege from the bottom position. And I feel like those are the two notable elements that people use when they first look at this map, when they first sort of examine what they want to end up doing. So, before we actually begin the analysis, I think it's important that the idea that whenever you have a strategy that you're trying to execute, or I should just say whenever you're trying to just win a game of StarCraft 2, you should have a very simple goal. Like, really, really simple ideas of when you want to win. Let me state some for this map. We're going to see Thorzain do a really complicated, very brilliant, very subtle thing, but we must, most importantly, state our big damn goal at the end of the day. Apparently I need gills not only when going to the pool in the mornings, but also when I do my own talking, as it's hard to inhale saliva. So our simple idea that we're just going to go ahead and exploit in this game is something like, I am going to be pushing with Marines and tanks to right here, and slowly dropping guys up here and pushing into his main. Very simple. You can maybe complicate it. I don't know, complify it. You can maybe make it a little more complicated by saying, I want to try to hold this watchtower and use it as a platform to push down here with tanks and marines, and then to drop up here. But the reason that goal is simple is, what if he's on 2 base? Same thing. What if your opponent has this 3rd base? Well, no matter, we're going to do the same thing. What if he's taken, hell, a 4th base? We're going to do the same thing. What if he has taken this 5th base? Excuse me. Oh, God, now I have hiccups. What if he's taking this 5th base? Well, no problem. I'm going to do this push here and do like a drop down here. And walk some Marines down here. I'm like a physical mess today. Coughing and have hiccups. My body, why does my body reject me? This is so painful. This is the most painful thing I think I've ever experienced. So again, it's a simple idea that Thorzain's going to be doing this game. To do some other matchups, you could say something in Protoss vs. Zerg like, I am just going to be focused on getting a big Templar. Or I'm going to first go Zealot Archon, and then incorporate in some Stalkers and Templar. And I'm going to use a lot of Warp Prisms to drop all his bases while I push his front. And if you boil that down even simpler, I'm going to get a big Gateway unit army with Templar, and then I'm going to use a lot of Warp Prisms to drop while I attack his front. Really simple stuff. Really simple stuff. In fact, sometimes you can even say it as simply as, I don't want him to get X base. My entire thought process is don't get that 1 base. So we're going to see Thorzain do a lot of complicated craziness in this game, but it's all going to come back to this simple idea, or as I should say, it'll all eventually feed into this simple idea. This is so terrible. So here comes Thorzain. We're going to, of course, do it as the early game segment. We're going to do the mid game segment, and we're going to do the late game segment. Let me just focus a little bit on this early game right now. Thorzain is going to build his barracks in a position so perfect that it allows units to slip it in here and down here. And of course, getting his gas up. This is no surprise. Dongrai Gu will be going for an early expand, but you know what? I want to focus on the Terran point of view for this game. I actually will elect to get it on just the Thorzain cam. So Thorzain is going to proceed to continue to try to wall himself off. The Marine wants a piece of you, boy. Yep, etc., etc., etc. There's nothing too noteworthy. Yeah, you know, and I honestly think that this push is always good. You shouldn't never do, or you shouldn't not do this push ever. Okay, you should always do this push. That's a lot easier way to do it. You shouldn't not do it ever. Oh, and by the way, a lot of people are pointing out the fact that I have the wrong overlay. Let me actually just go ahead and put up this overlay and take down that one. Thanks, guys. Oh, gosh. A little too out of focus today. And see what Thorzain does? He just waltzes all the way up to the front and pulls right on back again. And of course, as we see in production, 6 Zerglings made for Dong Regu. You normally want to get away with like 2 to 4. Or the 6 is a little teensy bit more than you want. So making 2 to 3 Marines, this is also very typical. Ordinarily, you would make 1 or 2 if you were going for Reactor Hellions, but this is something that Thorzain does that I think is quite cool. He gets a Reactor on this barracks. He gets a Reactor also on this factory while getting up this command center. He is using his Marine numbers to continue to push a little bit. And this is fine. I like this quite a bit. He's going to end up, you know, taking a little bit of damage, but I don't actually think that this is too significant. Jesus, did you see that hiccup jerk the screen? That was awesome. So he does take him out. I know stutter stepping is really easy if you just go click A, click A, click A, but try to click on the weakened ones. Because notice that this dude was taking damage when there was like a 2 hit point guy still alive. So then Thorzain does this very unusual double reactor and starport play. Seems very counterintuitive. Seems very weird to be honest. God almighty. Making a lot of Marines, making a lot of Hellions. Okay. Now, I want to just get a brief feel from the audience as to why I would like this composition on this map, but of course in general. I would love to know why people like the idea of a barracks with a reactor, a factory with a reactor, and a starport in general, but especially on this map. Let's go ahead and find out about it. Yeah. It's brutal, man. Alright, people, okay, we have some interesting ideas. Yeah, so here's a great point of Walk in Shoes. Says it saves gas, though that is absolutely true. I don't necessarily know if I would say that that's like a reason why I would do the strategy. It would definitely be a side effect of the strategy. You know, it's like such a, excuse me, extremely focused set of, of buildings that you end up only being able to make, you know, obviously the barracks units. Victor MD says map control and expo prevention. Yeah, that's actually a great reason why it's like so good. But of course I'd want to ask the question, like, perhaps why not, you know, something like just getting Hellions. Hellions gives you map control. Whoa, that's so good. Yeah, let's see here. Toll House says Terran needs a way to take care of Lings that the Zerg is going to use for map control to snatch it back. Yeah, I mean, like, a lot of these are continuing on the idea. This is great. Reactors are awesome. Blah, 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 blah. Now, this is something that one fellow said, it leaves you more open to adapt to the other player's build. I actually don't really feel like it does that. And that's an important distinction to make because tech labs are the one that give you the variety. You could do something like get Blue Flame Hellions or get tanks or get Thors with a tech lab. You can get Banshees, still get the Medevac, still get the Vikings. You can get Marines or Marauders. I mean, they open up options and create adaptability. But if you're going for a lot of reactors, that actually cuts down on your adaptability. You have fewer options. You can only make Hellions, Marines. You can't do any add-on swapping to get any more units. You actually have to stop everything and build a tech lab. So it's a really huge swell of units really quickly. So it's very, very aggressive of a build. Oh, geez. Wow. These hiccups are unbelievable. Yeah, so I'm actually just going to jump into the things that I really feel about this style of play, which is that it allows us the option to do harassment or a straight-up huge attack. We can do the drop with our medevac, and if we don't want to do a drop with our medevac, Well, you know, we still have a ton of Marines that can be healed by that medevac. Notice that these Hellions are starting to just seize us map control anyway. We're starting to get more vision anyway. As a brief note, kind of some of the gas comments that came up, we don't actually need a second gas geyser for a long time. So this means that we can simultaneously stockpile gas and still produce out of everything at once. But this really needs to do damage right away. And I would ask myself, if this needs to do damage, again, no tech labs on either of them. We really need more flexibility. If we need to do damage, are there a lot of ways we can be guaranteed to do damage? Yeah, drops. Yeah, pressure at the front. I mean, hell, if you just look at this front, this is actually so vulnerable, he might even be able to attack this, right? He might even be able to just break down the front door and pop right in. The obvious huge concern that I have is how the hell do we go into late game? We can't begin getting stim or combat shield. We can't begin getting siege tanks or siege mode. We can begin getting some medevacs, but what use are they if we can't actually put any pressure on? So I like this opening thus far. This is very, very cool. Very interesting, unique style of opening, where we pretty much know that we want to be aggressive. But before we go into the break, I want to just ask the question, the most obvious question, and if it isn't the most obvious question in your mind, then you're probably thinking about your mid-game incorrectly. How do we transition into Marines, tanks, and medevacs easily from here? It's not an obvious answer. It's not like, oh yeah, you just build 2 barracks and get 2 tech labs on them and boom. Like, I want you to really think through what the best way to transition would be. Do we keep this factory with the reactor for a long time? Do we give this reactor to the starport? Do we give this reactor to another barracks? Do we build a barracks, and then get the tech lab add-on for this factory? Do we immediately get the tech lab add-on for the factory and build 2 barracks with reactors? I want you to think through that a little bit and try to have some answers ready. We'll be going over a lot of that in the next section, which is a lot of the mid-game. But for now, we're going to take a commercial break, and I'm going to get some damn water. Because, my God, am I getting a lot of the crazy hiccups. A lot of that crazy hiccupage. A lot of that crazy hiccupage. Alright, so here we go. We're going to listen to some music. We're all going to have fun. And I'm going to try to cut this video.